You open your phone. 47 notifications, 3 group chats, a stranger's vacation, an old classmate's promotion, a comment thread arguing about something you barely care about. Your chest tightens for half a second. You scroll anyway. That feeling is not a personal failure. It is not just stress. It is your brain running software written for a world that no longer exists. Your brain is still living in a tribe of about 150 people. For most of human history, that number was not a metaphor. It was the practical size of a social world. Anthropologist Robin Dunbar and others have argued that human social cognition has limits, that the number of stable relationships we can maintain sits near 150. Whether the exact number is 100, 150, or 200 is less important than the pattern. You evolved to track faces you would see again, status that mattered because it affected food, mates, and protection, gossip that carried real survival information, rejection that could mean exile, and exile that could mean death. Your nervous system was built for a village. Then we invented cities, then mass media, then the internet, then a feed that never ends. Now your peer group is not a few dozen people. It is potentially billions. And your ancient social machinery treats every face, every ranking, every silent, unread message as if it still belongs to the same small world. That is the mismatch. People call it burnout, anxiety, FOMO, imposter syndrome, doom scrolling. Different labels, same engine. In a tribe of 150, social comparison was bounded. You knew roughly where you stood. You could improve your standing by hunting better, sharing more, repairing a relationship, or leaving a bad alliance. The scoreboard was local. The game had edges. Online, the scoreboard is infinite.
There is always someone richer, fitter, funnier, more traveled, more followed. Your brain does not file that as entertainment. It files it as status threat. Because for hundreds of thousands of years, status threat was not abstract. It was biological. This is why a seen message can feel like a predator in the tall grass, why a quiet day can feel like social death, why liking a post can feel like a tiny vote on whether you still belong. You are not broken for feeling that. You are running Paleolithic emotions on godlike technology. E.O. Wilson put it bluntly. The real problem of humanity is Paleolithic emotions, medieval institutions, and godlike technology. That line keeps resurfacing because it names the crack we live inside. So what actually changed? Not your brain's basic architecture. That is slow. Evolution does not redesign a nervous system every time an app ships a new feature. What changed is the input volume. In ancestral life, social information arrived at human speed. Conversations, faces, stories around a fire. Silence was normal. Boredom was normal. Night was dark. You could go hours without learning that someone, somewhere, was doing better than you. In modern life, social information arrives at machine speed. Metrics, rankings, highlight reels, outrage, soft rejection, soft applause. All of it, all day. Even when you are alone, you are not socially alone. The tribe is in your pocket. Your attention system treats novelty as important. Your belonging system treats exclusion as dangerous. Your comparison system treats relative rank as survival relevant. Put those 3 systems in front of an infinite feed, and you get a mind that never fully lands. There is another layer people miss.
In a real tribe, feedback was thick. If someone disliked you, you usually found out through behavior you could interpret. Online feedback is thin and delayed. A missing reply, a view count that stalls, a story you are not added to. Your brain fills the gaps with threat stories because that is what threat detection systems do when information is incomplete. So you refresh, not because you are shallow, because uncertainty used to be dangerous. Here is the part most self-help gets wrong. The common advice is just log off, be more grateful, stop comparing yourself, touch grass. Useful sometimes, incomplete always, because the problem isn't only that you lack discipline. The problem is that the environment is engineered to keep those ancient systems firing. Platforms do not need you to be happy. They need you to stay. Variable rewards, social proof, unfinished loops, these are not accidents. They are design. So the reframe is not become a monk overnight. The reframe is treat your social brain like hardware with a known capacity. If your mind can meaningfully track roughly a village-sized network, then flooding it with thousands of weak ties is not enrichment, it is overload. That does not mean delete everyone, it means distinguish. There are people whose opinions should move you. There are people whose posts are weather. Interesting, temporary, not a verdict on your life. Most of the internet is weather. There is also a quieter finding buried in the mismatch research. Being a big fish in a smaller pond often feels better than being average in an ocean of elites. Your brain cares about relative standing inside a reference group. Expand the reference group to the entire planet, and almost everyone becomes small. No wonder so many people feel behind while living lives their ancestors could not imagine.
This is also why success can feel strangely empty. You hit a goal that would have been legendary in a village of 150. Then the feed shows you 10,000 people who appear to have done more. The achievement is real. The reference frame is broken. So what should you actually do with this? Not a slogan, a clearer model. First, name the mismatch. When your body reacts to a notification like a threat, ask, is this a real tribe problem or a simulated one? A boss email may be real. A stranger's highlight reel usually is not. Second, shrink the active circle on purpose. A few deep relationships outperform 1,000 shallow ones for the systems that keep humans sane. Curate who gets to update your nervous system. Third, protect silence. Your ancestors had hours without social input. That was not emptiness. That was the default operating mode of a human mind. Schedule boredom the way you schedule meetings. Fourth, stop treating every feed as a mirror. Most of what you see is not a peer group, it is a stage. Actors, editors, algorithms, and luck compressed into a rectangle. Fifth, rebuild local scoreboards. Compete where the game has edges, a craft, a friendship, a body of work you can actually finish. Infinite games create infinite inadequacy. And sixth, remember the almost right version of the story. You do not need a new personality, you need a better map of the machine you are running. Your brain is not failing at modern life. Modern life is asking a village mind to govern a planetary network. Once you see that, the tightness in your chest makes a different kind of sense. It is not proof that you are weak. It is proof that an old alarm system is still on, in a world that learned how to ring it for free. If this helped you separate a real social wound from a simulated one, like the video, leave a comment with the belief that almost felt true, share it with someone who needs the reframe, and subscribe to Almost Right. We check what everyone believes and what nobody checks.